Civil service is a body or a department in the executive arm of government that is responsible for the execution of policies and the execution of the programs of the government. Now, in every democratic nation, and let me just say in almost every country at large, we have something called arms of government. Now, one of the arms of government that we have is called the executive, and the executive arm of government is responsible for one major thing, for the implementation of policies. They formulate those policies and then they implement those policies. Now, there is a body that helps the executive arm of government to implement the policies that they are formulated, and that body is known as a civil service. An example, the executive can be like, oh, let us construct a road from this particular city to another city, from this state to another state. Now, the president will not be the one to come and do that. The governor will not be the one to come and start constructing the road, but the civil service are the ones in charge of that. They will be the ones to carry out the projects of the government, which means they bring out the plans of the government, they bring everything into reality. Now, that is a civil service. Now, this civil service is also divided into departments, and every department is known as a ministry. That's why in different countries, you have something called Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Aviation, many ministries. You can have up to like 40, you can have up to like 30, 20, depending on the country. Now, every ministry has two different heads. When I say heads, I mean leaders, the person at the top. Now, the first one is called a political head, and the second one is called an administrative head. The political head is always, he might not be from that particular ministry, he might not be a member, he might not be a civil servant in that particular ministry, but he will be appointed by the president to represent that ministry. They call them ministers. That's why we have something called Minister of Health, Minister of Education, Minister of different ministries. Now, the other one I said, which is the administrative head, that one must belong. That administrative head must belong to that particular ministry, and they are known as the permanent secretaries. In short, they call them PS, permanent secretary. Those are the two different heads. Now, in my next video, I'll be talking about the characteristics of the civil service and the structure of the civil service. Thank you.